What's up, guys? Neil Orfield here, taking a look at Stokastic's MLB DFS Lineup Generator for tonight's slate. It is July 31st. While you're coming in, please do like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit that notification button so you can get alerts when our shows go live. Of course, if you haven't yet signed up for the Lineup Generator, you can get 50% off your first week using the link in the description of this video on YouTube or in my tweet if you're on Twitter. It's going to be just $4.48 for your first week if you use that link. It's just going to be $8.95 after that first week as well. Still a fantastic tool, fantastic deal for a tool that only gives you plus EV lineups. Every lineup you're going to get in the lineup trader should be a long-term profitable lineup. Doesn't mean it's going to win today, but it means that every lineup you get here is one that if you run through the course tens of thousands of times, these are all lineups that are going to be profitable. So if you keep just using these lineup generator lineups, you're probably going to be profitable over the long haul. All right, let's take a look at some DraftKings lineups to start. I'm going to do all stack types, all lineup types, and I'm not going to lock anybody in. All right, first lineup we get here has Charlie Morton and Jake Irvin as the pitchers. It's a 4-4 Colorado and San Diego stack. All right, let's start by looking at Charlie Morton and Jake Irvin in the top pitchers tool. Charlie Morton, third overall with a 19% chance of being a top two pitcher. We have Jake Irvin near the bottom of the board, only a 4% chance of being a top two pitcher. However, a 17% chance of being a top 2 point per dollar pitcher at just 1% ownership. So a little bit of positive leverage on Jake Irvin. And then the stacks, we had San Diego. Yeah, San Diego in Coors Field is going to look pretty good. They have a 23% chance of being the top stack. And then Colorado also in Coors Field with a 6% chance of being the top stack. So it's a 4-4 stack with one of the better pitchers on the board and then one of the cheaper pitchers on the board who allows you to pay up for some of these Coors bats. All right, let's save this one. This one, not particularly chalky. A little bit chalkier for the second lineup. We have Domingo Germán and Chris Bassett as the pitchers. Germán, 6th on the board and top two pitcher odds, 13% chance. Chris Bassett, kind of middling 9% chance of being a top two pitcher. Again, two relatively inexpensive pitchers allowing you to pay up for some bats. With those bats, we have a 5-man Brewers stack with 3 one-offs in Fernando Tatis, Jake McCarthy, and Jose Altuve. Take a look at the Brewers stack as well. Brewers third on the board in Washington against Jake Irvin. They have a 9% chance of being the top stack. All right, looks good. Now I'm just going to go through and save 20 lineups. You'll see that the lineups are going to bounce all over the place in terms of ownership from chalky to contrarian, some balanced here. All right, so through 20 lineups, we have 70% exposure to Fernando Tatis, 65% Xander Bogaerts, 55% Manny Machado, 55% Jake Cronenworth, 50% Luis Campusano, George Kirby, our most exposed pitcher. So that's a lot of Padres here, but if you look in the top stacks tool, that's not the end of the world for me because we do have some positive leverage on the Padres, just 19% ownership with a 23% chance of being the top stack. So I don't mind being well overweight to the Padres. Obviously, in Coors Field, one of the better lineups. They're going to look pretty good. So I might cut back a little bit on my Padres exposure, go back and, get rid of some Padres stacks here, but probably not too many. I probably don't mind having, close to this amount of the Padres. Maybe I cut it back to 60% for Fernando Tatis, try and get everybody below that number. But in general, I'm okay with being pretty exposed to the Padres on this slate, just because we do have a lot of positive leverage there. Obviously a great spot. So maybe I get back, cut back a few of my Padres lineups and try to find spread out a little bit. But honestly, I'm probably okay being pretty concentrated in a 20 lineup set to the Padres. If I were going to play 150 lineups, I would want to be spread out a lot more. I'd probably try to get to, under 40% for every individual bat. But on this slate, in just 20 lineups, I don't mind being pretty exposed to the Padres. All right, now I'm going to go take a look at some FanDuel lineups as well. Again, all stack types, all lineups, not locking anybody. All right, FanDuel, we're getting Nick Pivetta as the pitcher in this first one, a 4-man Padres stack with a 4-3 Padres Brewers stack with Michael Harris as a one-off here. All right, let's take a look. Where's Nick Pivetta in the top pitchers tool? kind of middle of the board, 5% chance of being the top pitcher. He's only 8,000 though, so not particularly expensive. Allows you to pay up for some of those better bats. And again, we had the Padres and the Brewers as our two stacks on FanDuel. Let's see how they look. Padres top of the board, Brewers third on the board. 23% chance of the Padres, similar to DraftKings, 23% chance to be the top stack. Brewers with an 8% chance of being the top stack as well. So two of the better stacks on the board, kind of a middling pitcher that allows you to pay up for them. All right, I'm going to save this one. All right, so this is a very different, much more contrarian lineup here. Still a four-man Brewers stack. We got Corbin Burns with the stack, so a little added correlation there. If the Brewers stack goes off, obviously it increases Burns' chance of getting the win. And then we have, it's a 4-2-2 with the secondary stacks of both the Braves and the Padres. So we've got Eddie Rosario and Michael Harris bringing down the ownership on this lineup. Campusano under 10% as well. And even the Brewers, we got Andrew Monasterio at just 6% ownership. So that's bringing it down. And then Corbin Burns at just, I guess that's the big one. Corbin Burns at just 3% ownership, really bringing down the overall ownership on this lineup. Burns, second overall in terms of top pitcher odds on FanDuel, 8% chance of being the top pitcher. Again, we had the Brewers, the Braves, and the Padres. So three of the top stacks on the board, actually the three top stacks on the board, all in this lineup represented. All right, now I'm going to go through and just save 20 lineups and see what we get in terms of exposure. Once again, a lot of Padres at the top. Fernando Tatis, Xander Bogaerts are most exposed. Then we have Bryce Turang and William Contreras. So a couple of Brewers sneak in there before some more Pods. Again, I'm probably okay having a good amount of the Padres. I would want to cut back a little bit here. Probably try to get to, under 60%, maybe under 50% for any individual bat here. It's just a lot of exposure. 80% to Fernando Tatis is a little bit more than I'm comfortable with, even in a 20 lineup set. And in a 150 lineup set, again, I'd probably try to get under 40% for every individual bat. But I don't mind being fairly concentrated in a 20 lineup set. I would go back, cut back somewhat on these Padres, maybe try to get below 60% on every batter, but still don't mind being fairly concentrated on the Padres here in a great spot. All right, that is going to do it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. Again, if you haven't clicked the like button, please do so. Helps me out a lot. Thanks for watching, guys, and good luck tonight.